All right, guys, today we're going to talk about what's been happening, what God has been doing, what's going on with visas, school for the kids, new experiences, friends, just awesome things. So check it out.
You're so cute. You know that I love you.
Yes.
Yeah. So it is July. It will be by the time I post this. So it's July, and we've been here for 4 months now. 5 months? 4 months. Like 4.5 months. Because we got here at the end of March, middle of March. 4.5 months. So we've been here for 4.5 months, and I honestly have no idea what we updated them last month with. But I don't know. Yeah, so I want them to know how great you were, but tell them how close we were to the wire of having to leave the country versus like waiting for our visas or extension.
I mean, I feel like it was like a week that we still didn't know if we needed to leave the country because our passports are only good for 90 days. And then we still didn't have our visas. Our lawyer was working on like getting an extension, but then he also decided he reapplied for our visas. Was that all in the same week?
More or less, yeah.
Yeah. And so we just had no idea. Like, okay, like messaging him, like, do we need to leave? Because if we have to leave, that's in a week. So we kind of need to know so we can pack up and stuff. So yeah, we had like a week before we knew.
Which I think, I mean, everyone knows I'm crazy. Everyone knows like whatever. But for you, I don't think if you were worried, you did not show it. And if you were stressed, you didn't show it. And I think that I am very grateful, obviously, to have you for that. But it was I was just so amazed that you didn't show any sign of like, oh crap, what are we going to do?
I don't know. I feel like I just didn't care. Kind of like that one time when we were driving home from our long road trip and like our van broke down and we had to be towed home. Do you remember that? We recorded.
It was like the last
leg
we're
of our
in
trip.
like on 990, yeah.
Yes, yeah. And I just remember like laughing, like I didn't even care that we were being towed and that because I was just like, this is just our life now. Like it's just kind of.
Do we just expect it now?
Yes, I don't think we expect it, but we're not surprised when something like that happens. Or if we have a week, it's like, we may have to leave, we might not. Like, it's fine.
We may have to spend $5,000 buy round trip tickets. We may not.
Speed pack, I don't know, but it's fine.
Yeah, because also scary news was he at one point had even told us you might be like get a mark or whatever or kicked out of the EU.
Yeah, because they thought we were here illegally.
Yeah.
Which we weren't, but they thought we were. And so he was saying that we might, where they put I don't know.
Yeah. Like,
and so if that were the case and we couldn't enter back in
for a couple years
we'd
or something.
have to really not just pack like, we have to pack for a trip, but have to get all of our stuff out. So that was like, I hope that's not the case.
I feel like we would have left a lot of stuff behind and just not cared.
Yeah.
So it's been a weird, interesting couple months. I was talking to someone about how there's just this looming feeling still that like looming, is that the right word?
Sounded
luring,
right.
Looming? Okay.
Luring.
We're just going to talk.
Not
luring, yeah. None of this is going
That's
in.
Not right.
Anyways. So I was talking to someone about kind of there's still, no matter what, that feeling of not like this being fully our home.
Mm-hmm.
And this has been great because this is the most consistent thing our kids have had for the last 2 years, for us even.
It's been the longest we've ever even been in the Basque Country. Because normally it can only be the 90 days, but we did get the extension, so.
Yeah, and we've been making friends, and we'll talk about that, and like we feel like we're living here, but no matter what, there's still this like tickle in the back of the neck that's like, hey,
you could
still have to go home, and that like it hinders you, right? Like,
I just feel like it's annoying.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's bothersome. Just that thought of, I think too, thinking of like, like if we do have to go back, it's mainly like I just hate it for my kids because we're trying to get them like settled in. Like, I don't care for me. It's just more when you have them that you're also trying to like take care of and like give them a life at the same time. It's just hard when you're constantly not knowing where you're going to be at.
Yeah. It like hinders even getting the kids involved in stuff or building friendships or ministry or investing in where we're at, because again, it's just like, oh, you might have to go home. You might have to go home. And it's the pits, like going out with friends or something. Like, yes, we are fully investing in them and we're building friendships, but there's still this like tick, tick, tick that like you might have to go home.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like it.
Yeah. So we're still waiting.
So we're still waiting. Still waiting. Yeah. But we filled out all the paperwork for the kids to go to school.
Mm-hmm.
So we're waiting on the education department to tell us which school they can go to.
Mm-hmm.
So that will be good. And I think that will actually help maybe push our visas a little more too.
Yeah. Jaelle started the sports camp.
Jaelle started the sports camp, yeah. That was hard. I didn't like signing the like, I'm in another country and I'm signing my daughter's like rights away, essentially, with the
they are not responsible for what happens between the
places they walk. Yeah. Whatever. Oh, just being a parent and watching your kid like be super nervous around. It's one thing, like we were talking about, to go to a VBS or a camp or something in America where you don't know anyone.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard. But then on top of that, like, oh, hey, you're the foreigner.
Mm-hmm.
So all of them stare at her,
mm-hmm.
at least the first day.
Mm-hmm.
And then 2, you don't speak the language. So they have to kind of like help you.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but Jaelle did really good.
Yeah, and she loves it.
Loves it.
She first, when we signed her up, said she only wanted to do 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And now after like the first couple days, she's like, I want to do the 4th week too.
Yeah. So I've got to go check on that. But I mean, she does great. Unfortunately, literally all the kids and her teacher talk to her in English. I think she still gets Euskera, and she's building friendships. She said
that when they're talking to each other, they talk in Spanish and Euskera. Mm-hmm. And she said that she can pick out certain words, but when they talk to her, it's always in English because a lot of the kids know English. They put her with the monitor who knows English.
Yeah.
So
it's like she's still getting like immersed, mm-hmm. but almost like a slow immersion.
Yeah.
And then we'll see when school starts. But yeah, it's great. We are on Spanish lockdown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's highly encouraged anyways.
Yeah, that's true. Could leave the country.
Yeah.
But will they let us back in?
Yeah.
Who knows? Which at face seems like, oh, that's great. You're in the country you want to be in. Like, why would you want to leave? And that's not a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
Which, sure, it's not. We are here and that's great. But so we can't go home. Not that we intended to anytime soon. We can't. So in August, there will be no one in our city. Mm-hmm. Like, we'll go from a city of 15,000 to like 200. Mm-hmm. You know, 90% of the shops will be closed. Hopefully Odorowski's open. I'm sure it will be. And like 1 or 2 coffee shops. Even like one of our friends, they're going to America, so their coffee shop will be closed. Mm-hmm. You know, so we don't want to. I mean, we'll be here and we can go anywhere in Spain, but we can't leave. Like if we want, France is less than an hour away and we can't go to France. Mm-hmm. You know, or we have friends in Paris, we can't go visit them. Or we really wanted to go to a missionary conference in Austria. That would have been really encouraging. I got to go to the pastors' conference last year, so I got to meet some of the missionaries, like the pastors, but this one's more for families, so, you know, it would have been great for you to meet them, mm-hmm. the kids to meet them, everything, but that might not happen. I mean, we have a month. Who knows? Could happen. We have the AJM conference in September, which we can't go to anyways, or all of us can't because mm-hmm. the kids will be in school, but I could have gone, and that would have been great. I mean, thankfully, we do have people coming in August. Like, one person's coming kind of halfway through. He'll visit for a little bit.
That's what we have to talk about, too, because they're bringing us our
Oh, yeah.
bins.
Yeah. Well, so they're coming at the end of August and September.
Yeah.
But oh my goodness, that was something. So our friends came to pick up the students, right? And they just took them back today. But we only got 2 boxes.
Mm-hmm.
And they came at midnight. Like the boxes came at midnight, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Or maybe we dropped them off and then went out and then came back. I don't remember. But then we decided, instead of putting the kids to bed and us opening it, we just...
Well, because we were out really late that night.
Yeah, that's... Yeah.
We were out. I remember it was a Wednesday, and it was like dead out. No one was out, but we were getting dinner really late because it was after the meeting.
Oh,
with
you're
the
right.
Students.
Yeah. And they had to stay open late for us.
Yes.
The bar did.
Oh, I didn't know
they
that they
stayed open late for us.
Oh.
Yeah. Roman
nice of them.
had asked, yeah. That was
But
very
yeah,
nice.
so then we got home really late that night. We got home at like midnight with all the kids and stuff. But everyone was too excited to go to bed because we had our 2 bins.
2 bins. 100 pounds worth of our stuff.
Yeah.
Now, so why this became amazing was because our kids are so used to change, leaving things that they know behind, and new things, and just unknown and whatever. And so getting 2 boxes full of their stuff in like remembering, I have this, or, oh, this is my thing. This is like, oh my goodness.
It was literally Christmas morning.
Oh, yeah.
And it wasn't even like tons of super exciting things.
No.
It was kind of our like leftover junk box. Like, oh crap, we need to be like packed up, and there's
leave
like
tomorrow.
all this just random stuff left. Like
Or our junk
everything
drawers.
else was like
Yeah.
organized, but yeah, it was like those junk drawers that everyone has at home. And so we just took what was left that we hadn't packed yet and just like tossed it in. That's what these bins were. But the kids were like, even for Emberly's winter hat.
Yeah.
Which it's not wintertime anymore, so it's not like she gets to wear it around. But she was like, my hat.
And she's literally only
she,
worn
like,
that hat a
puts it
couple
on.
times, yeah.
Oh my gosh, it was hilarious.
Yeah. And a couple of books, and they were just
Their
going.
stuffies, though. That was a big
Yeah.
one.
They did get some of their stuffies, which was great. And especially because, again, they had to sell a lot of their stuff and or even just give it away or throw it away. So for the small amount that they got to keep, I think that was...
They forgot that they even had that stuff,
yeah.
but they were just, it was... Yes, it was Christmas. It was like literally Christmas morning at midnight. Our living room was just had stuff everywhere, just random stuff, and they were so excited.
Which, by the way, that's even another thing is we forgot that we had that stuff.
I know.
So, like, even the stuff that's coming...
Like,
it will
wow,
be-
we've lived without this for 4 months and obviously haven't cared.
Yeah. But
But it
I
was
mean,
good for them. Like, it made my mama heart, like, super happy just because
Yeah.
they were so excited. And it was sad because it was, like, oh, that taste of, like, home. But it was also, like, oh, my gosh, like, look at how, like, excited and happy this made them.
Yeah.
Like, it was definitely worth it. So I'm glad for when we do get more of our
Yes.
bins just because
Well, and it's not like it's useless stuff. Like,
It was-
our camping
yeah.
stuff is in there. There's some more clothes.
all my books.
All your books.
I was very sad
Yes.
that it wasn't more books.
I
but-
was not sad. In fact, a lot of it was some of my office stuff. So
I know.
I was kind of excited about that.
I did get a pair of shorts for summer in there.
Yeah, there you go. Perfect. Yeah. So that was fun. But yeah, so more of our stuff will come in August. Hopefully the rest of our stuff pretty much. And except my unicycle, but that's its own thing that I got to figure out. But yeah, so that's exciting. So we have people coming in August and then hope maybe the conference in September. We'll see.
Are you keeping track of time?
Time. Yeah, it's 6:32. No, that's wrong. It's 6:50, so we got about 10 minutes.
Okay.
It's okay.
Okay.
We're pretty much talking about ministry, and then we'll wrap up.
And our friends?
Or I guess we'll talk about our friend. Yeah. Well, so okay. So like what we're doing, like this whole first like 6 months, let's say, I don't know how long, is building relational capita, right? So especially as Americans and foreigners, we have a certain amount of time. They, you know, in a lot of places they call it the honeymoon period, right? When you first start a job or whatever, and like you're excited,
Yeah.
they're excited, everyone's excited.
Yeah, we're famous right now.
Oh, super famous, right? One of the students was like, "Yeah, my English teacher was talking about you," but I was like, "I don't want her to know you," so she. Oh, it's so funny, but literally, and then like one of the students that we helped with the English class, all of a sudden I was playing basketball with his dad, and I'm like, "Oh, that's your son," like, and they're talking about us, and so we're famous, right? So we have this opportunity right now where we're in the honeymoon period when it's a new thing.
Yeah.
Our kids are new to other kids. We're new to other adults. You literally hear them talking about it sometimes
Yes.
in Spanish
Mm-hmm.
or Euskera.
Mm-hmm.
Like you were
Even
like,
the young kids,
Mhm.
like when I was walking by, I picked out the words as soon as I like walked by. They said something something Estados Unidos,
Yeah.
which is the United States, and I'm like, they just are talking about that I'm the person who's from America.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, and then when we were in the like town main street yesterday, I heard them like, "Oh, Kelly,"
yeah,
right,
they
which
know
is our
the
street.
that we
So
live
some
on.
of them know where we live, and that's fine. I
It's
mean,
funny.
again, it's a small
Everyone
town.
does because
Yeah.
when they ask like, "Oh, where do you live?" We're like, "Oh, we live on." It's our
Yeah,
just
right.
our street name, which
Mhm.
tons of people live on it. So
Yeah. So, but yeah, we're famous to a degree, right? And so we're using this time to build relational capita and just show them that we care about them, get to know them, play basketball with them, go to the park. We go to the park a lot, not just because of our kids, but because that's where people are and that's where people kind of in our stage of life are. And it's cool because that's actually also introduced us to friends. So we're at the park and I think I actually came later, but you were talking to a person and
Oh, you were
found out-
there. You were just sitting on the bench.
Oh, yeah. Well, whatever. It's fine.
I was helping them at the zip line. That's
Yeah.
why.
And all of a sudden you found out she speaks English.
No, he heard me and he started talking to me
Oh.
because so his wife was not there at the time, but she was off with her other kids. But no, he immediately, because he can speak English really well. And so as soon as he heard me speaking English, he immediately started asking questions.
Yeah.
And when we told it, like I told him that we moved here and stuff, he was just like blown away and was so confused because he's like, why? Like, not that like, why? Like, how dare
Not a
you
bad
type
thing,
thing,
yeah.
but like, no
It's not
one
normal.
moves here, especially from like the United States. He's like, that's not normal. That doesn't happen.
Yeah.
It's not common. So like everyone is super curious and very like interested in what we're doing here and why we even would move here. Because that's a very, that's a foreign concept to them.
Yes.
Like big time.
Well, and we don't hide it from them either when they ask. Like we explain to them why we're here and what we're doing, which is cool because it's led to a lot of open conversations, conversations about church, God, etc. But we're also at the same time just showing them like we're just people like who care about you and want to get to know you and your culture, and then, you know, but yeah, and so that's where we met that couple, and they had 2 daughters that are the same age as Emberly and Declan.
Yep.
And so hopefully they'll be in class together. And then I was literally at the gym like 2 days later, sitting in like the freezing cold pool. This lady comes in and is like, starts speaking to me in Spanish. And of course I have to say, mi español un poco. And she's, oh, and just starts talking to me in English. Caught me off guard, but I think you met my friend. And oh, yes.
Which was the ones from the park.
We had met at the park. And so talking to her, get to know her a little bit. And then later that day, actually, we went to the foam party and they came up to us. So we met the husband and the 2 kids, also 2 kids, same age, Declan and Emberly. Actually, and they're both like days or a week apart from
August and November.
Yeah, same
so,
like birthday month, everything. So that's crazy. But yeah, so then we got to know them and I went out and hung out with the husband and their kids, and we've hung out with them a couple times. After this, like now pretty much we're going to dinner with all, well, one of them's gone, but pretty much the whole family. And so we're just, it's really cool. God has just been bringing us friendships on top of some of the ones we already had, on top of the relationships with the parents and the students. Like the reason I played basketball was because one of the dads of a student who's in America right now plays basketball with some friends. And so he invited me to play. And so it's really cool. And that's, I think, going to go a long way in the future. And so it's kind of just what we're doing.
And they're still, like, even 4 months in, extremely helpful. Like, the ones that we know, like, going out of their way to make sure, like, that we're, like, taken care of. Like, they want to invite us, like you, going to football matches or even, like, their festival that they're having this weekend, like, to show us around.
Well, and not even just to tell us about it, but he's making sure, like, hey, let's meet at this time and let's go up together. And or we could go watch the Tour de France, whatever you want.
Yes, and even, like, one of the English teachers, like, I didn't know if Emberly had like pink eye or something like the other day, and we haven't like gone to the doctor yet. That's one thing on our list now, is to find them like primary care providers and stuff like that. And she's so like willing to come with us just in case we need help with like translating or figuring things out. And so they're all still like extremely helpful, which has been a huge, huge blessing to just know these people and the friendships that we've made. And
it's really cool. Yeah, and I think part of it's their culture. And then obviously even them being out so much is culture because it's summertime.
Yes.
When fall and winter happens, it gets dark and cold and wet. So there'll be maybe less.
Which that's also really fun though, actually. Like I really enjoy living in such a small town because I love that every time we go out, we see people that we know and you're just like, oh, hi.
Yeah.
Sometimes you talk and you can walk with them for a while or you just are in passing, but we're always seeing people like 24/7.
And I think it's fun that we still get looks. Like so many looks. I mean, not just
like
me,
if we're
but
talking
like all
English
of us.
and someone walks by, they turn and like.
You were literally like you were upset at Declan or Emberly, like, and you were just telling them not to go near the street because and this lady walks by and turns and just gave you the funniest look, and it was so good.
Yes, but we get a lot of looks.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
But yeah, so obviously we speak in English, but we're working on Euskera and Spanish, and
they were very proud of me today at the store because I asked her how she was like in Euskera, and she hasn't heard that from me yet. Because usually it's you that talks in Euskera more.
Oh, at the
toy store, And so she was like, "Oh, like you've been practicing," and yes,
I've been practicing the most simple phrase.
Well, normally I'm scared to like try because it's just awkward. But now I've said it a few times. I did it at the library the other day too, and she was super proud of me. Yeah. So it's fun.
Yeah, they're like our cheerleaders, except for a couple of them who are excited that we're learning, but they're also like our biggest critics. But yeah, we will be taking classes at the Escoltegi in the fall when they kind of reopen up for us. But yeah, and then other than that, I think one of my biggest prayer requests is just praying for more workers, more people to come. Because the thing is I feel like we're meeting so many people and getting to know so many people that I'm like, how am I going to invest in this many people by myself?
You can't.
I can't.
Yeah.
I absolutely cannot. And
because again, even looking at, I always think of like Jesus. He had 12 disciples. Yeah. Yes, he would preach to the multitudes, but the ones he really like invested in, it was 12. And even then, he had his closer like 3 who were like even more intentional, like heavy discipleship where you really do life together, I feel like. And so I don't think even just following his example, like we physically can't, but 2, it's just, I mean,
it's just healthy to have more people here to encourage us, but also to just see God working through other people and the Holy Spirit just doing, especially like different people. Yeah. Because even when our friend was just here, like I'm not necessarily the person who's gonna just, I mean,
different gifts, different personalities. Yeah.
And I will allow conversation to be guided towards God for sure. And like when the Holy Spirit says go, I go. But our friend sometimes will just jump in and like somehow bring the conversation directly back to, like, it seems like it came from nowhere.
Almost more evangelistic.
Yeah.
By nature.
And I loved it. I was like, this is great because I wouldn't do that. Like, it's just not in my tool house or whatever.
Your tool house? Your toolbox?
Yeah, toolbox. Thank you. That was fantastic. It's just not something I'm more relational. And so like as the conversation goes, you know, I'll bring up something. But this person was just more diving in, and I love it because that's just not me, and I want more. Because
then it helps like you guys complement each other. Yeah. Because again, that's why the body has so many different parts. You need all of it.
Yeah, and not to say we aren't used by our weakness. Like if God tells me like we're not even talking about this, but I want you to bring me up. Like okay, cool. Like sure, but so just
praying. Yes, the harvest is plentiful. The laborers are few.
There's 9 students going to Bergata, 2 from Bergata, 2 from, I think, 1 from Zdralc and Donosti. The other program has 109 students, I think, or 108, and then 9 monitors who have been discipled and who are in a discipleship process. Yeah. And that program has been running for like 20-some years, and so like the Holy Spirit, or the seeds have been planted. Yes. And the Holy Spirit, I think, is just wanting to work and move, and so we're excited. So we would love to see more people here. I mean, specifically in our town for us, like we would love a team. But even just if I knew that there was another person a town over who we could even meet and have coffee with every week or something, just would be super cool. So, God is moving, and we just would love to see more people come. Whether it's a family, which, you know, that one family is praying about it. Sarah's coming in August or September. You know, but yeah, I don't like doing it on my own. I'm a very relational person, so I would love to have, hey, let's go.
Especially when you go out,
Yeah.
because a lot of times, like, oh, if I'm homeschooling the kids, or they don't want to go out and do that, they want to go to the park, but you want to, like, go do just different things, and it'd be nice, if you had someone else to go with
Yeah, like,
you.
Chelsea, come to the bar with me and hang out, and you're just like, no, like, I guess I probably shouldn't say come to the bar, but, like, Chelsea,
well, that's all they have
yeah,
here.
That's true. Chelsea, come out with me, and you're like, no, I've got the kids, I've got to do this, and so I'm like,
and they get bored. Like,
yeah, they get bored.
They don't want to do that.
No, because there's nothing to do in, like, that main square area. But yeah, because even the other day, which totally worked out, I went out and I was just like, okay, God, show me someone, like, I'm gonna go because I know there's people out, so just show me someone I know. And I wasn't even to, like, the main area yet, and someone's like, Jordan, and I ended up spending pretty much the whole night with him and met his brother and sister and talked to them and just all the things. So, like, God totally uses it, but it just would love to have some more people here. Yeah. Cool. Well, I think that's probably a good.
Yeah, because we gotta go.
We gotta go to dinner. We're gonna go be with friends, and it's like a downside because they speak English and they speak English well.
Yes, very well.
But thankfully, we're like, oh, but you have to help us practice. They're, okay, and all of a sudden, like, she just switched to, like, teaching, like, trying to teach, which is great.
Yeah.
But I'm excited because I want the kids to get to know their kids and have friends and just kind of So I'm excited. So we're gonna go to dinner. So that's our update for now. We'll see what happens next month after, like, 2 more festivals and. The students, like, hearing hopefully some stories from the students and different things. And Jaelle will have finished camp and stuff. But yeah, maybe visas next month. We'll see.
Please.
We say that all the time, and it's still
It's
just
been, like, over a year.
Happens.
Please
I know.
pray for our visas.
At what point do we just, like, become citizens because we've been here for so long or something? I don't know. All right, cool.
All right.
Love you.
Love you.
I'm looking at you. I'm talking to you, not them.
No, but that was
We
just
love
a
you guys
weird,
too.
like,
Don't worry.
Exit.
No, I know. Well, we're not exiting. I mean, we are, but.
Love you too.
Aw, they need to know that we love each other.
This is weird. We gotta go.
All right, see you guys.
Bye.
All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. God is moving in the Basque Country, and you are a part of it. Please keep praying for us. Pray for our family. Pray for the Basque Country. Pray for just powerful things to happen. If you want to get a hold of us, go ahead and send us an email. Send us something on Messenger on Facebook. And if you feel called to give, go ahead and head over to our website at jesusmission.org/Baker Family, and you can donate there. Thanks for being a part of this journey. See you later.